I have to say, I'm really enjoying the House of Shivers books. Apart from Say My Name, they've been pretty entertaining to read. Nothing so far compares to the original Goosebumps, but some of the books in the spin off series have been pretty decent. I liked a lot of the Series 2000. I have to read through those again, and there's some I just never read. Most Wanted was kind of hit and miss. Again, there's still some I have to read, but when I was reading those, it really seemed just like old Goosebumps stuff recycled. But House of Shivers so far has been just spooky fun. And one of my favorite themes in Goosebumps is the camp books. And this one didn't disappoint. I don't think it's as good as some of the other ones, like Curse of Camp Cold Lake or um, Welcome to Camp Nightmare, which I think are some of the best ones. And again, there's still a few I have to read yet, but so far, the camp books are among the best of all the Goosebumps. And one night at Camp Bigfoot, it was fun. Um, Not as dark as some of the other ones, because Curse of Camp Cold Lake and Welcome to Camp Nightmare and Ghost Camp. That's the one I was thinking of. And even the Curse of Camp, no, what is it? Something Camp Jelly Jam. And for some reason, I cannot think of what the actual title of that book is. I know it's gonna drive me crazy. I know it's gonna come to me. Um, yeah. But anyways, one night at Camp Bigfoot. So this is about two kids named Harper and Dylan, whose parents want them to go to this camp that they went to as kids, and it's called Camp Woo Woo. Harper especially does not want to go. Harper is more into drawing monsters than going to a basic camp, right? That's the thing she's interested in. She likes to draw scary things and monsters and stuff. So she and her friend come up with this plan to pretend that she's sick, and they draw like spots on her face. Of course, the parents figure out and know that this is marker that's on her face, and it turns out to be permanent marker. So now she is going to camp with spots on her face. And when they get to the camp, it's basically been overrun with bears. So they cannot go to camp basically because camp is shut down. So they come across this other camp called Camp Bigfoot. Like the parents ask if there's any other camps around, and they end up going to Camp Bigfoot, and they meet the, I guess, head counselor or whatever you call them and stuff. I can't remember, but the people who run the camp, and there's a guy that goes by the name Uncle Squatch, yeah, Bigfoot basically. And there's other people that have like Bigfoot-esque names, right? Like there's another counselor that's a woman, and her last name is Yeti, so it's a Bigfoot thing, and everything pretty much surrounds Bigfoot in a way. Like they have a Bigfoot statue. There's this event where they go out and hunt for Bigfoot. There's people who have claimed to see him. That's kind of what the camp is all based around. And the kids, they want to go to this camp because it sounds fun, because both of them are into scary stuff. Um, like Harper does the drawings and stuff, but both her and her brother are into like horror and stuff, basically. So the idea of this camp that has like their cabins and lodges and stuff named after like spooky stuff, like there's a vampire cabin, there's like a werewolf cabin and stuff like that. And one of the girls in her cabin, her bunk and everything, claims to be a werewolf and everything. So, it's right up their alley, between the theme and the personality of some of the other campers. But, as in traditional Goosebumps, we find out there's more to the camp than people let on at first. There's some spooky stuff going on. They come across some unusual things. And I can't say too much more without giving away like the entire plot and everything, but like I said, traditional Goosebumps, kids go into something they think is going to be fun, and it turns out to be not as fun as they would like. A little bit more dangerous, a little bit more spooky. You know, all the fun stuff to read about in a Goosebumps book. I really like this one. Like I said, this was on more of the fun end of the camp theme, because some of the other ones are kind of dark. And obviously, this one has its moments because it is technically a spooky or horror book. A middle grade one, but still, nonetheless, it's in that genre, so you have to expect some spooky going-ons and everything. I think I rated this one a 4-star. I would have liked more campy things, but it definitely was a fun read. I think it's worth your time. Like I said, with the exception of Say My Name, so far, I think House of Shivers is going to be a pretty good series. And I'm glad I read this one. Oh, and the book I was thinking of was The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam. That's the one. One of these days I'm going to rank the camp books, along with some other themes in Goosebumps, like probably Slappy and Monster Blood and stuff. Maybe I can challenge myself and do the original 62. Who knows? That's going to be a bit of a challenge. But anyways, leave a comment if you've read this book, if you've read any Goosebumps and stuff. And yeah, go read One Night at Camp Bigfoot.